What is up, guys? Here back with another YouTube video. Today we are going to be talking about a bunch of different severe weather that's going to be happening here, and there's also an ongoing massive possible tornado outbreak here in this tornado watch area slash zone over here. When these storms start to significance, I will, like it says on the top of my screen, it says that I will be going live after this video over the major severe weather that we are going to be getting. So there is these watches and warnings. So if we look at the categorical outlook here, you can see there's a massive slight risk of severe weather that stretches into these areas. And the watch kind of messes up the seeing. And then a massive enhanced risk in here with many different areas like Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Amarillo's under the slide actually, and Wichita Falls, all these different areas. And then this massive moderate risk of severe weather in here. It's pretty big in areas like Oklahoma City, Norman, Moore, all these different areas that are shown here, Lawton, and a lot of these different areas here. So you guys have to be very weather aware, as could be some significant severe weather here. And if you look at the tornado, you can see those dashed lines means chance for significant, large, violent tornado possibly in this shaded area right here. With these white lines stretching through. So if anybody's in this yellow or red, you need to be extremely weather aware for large, violent tornadoes to form. Even if you're in this 5% or even 2%, you still need to be weather aware. But the main threats will be in areas in the 10% and 15% in yellow and red. And if we go to the wind risk, it's a massive 30% wind risk here with a hatched area for wind gusts of 70 up to 70 miles an hour or even above. In areas like Oklahoma City, all the way up to close, a little bit to the south of Tulsa here. So you guys have to be very weather aware for winds, tornadoes, and even hail here, as there's a large, significant threat for large hail above 2 inches possible here in this shaded area that we have with all these lines going through. Anywhere in the 15%, 30%, and 45% needs to be very weather aware, but the main threats will be in this area. But all the way in this hatched area could get significant severe weather from this and all these different areas that are in here. And if we look at the day 2 outlook, it's a massive marginal risk in these areas, and then a slight risk, and then a massive enhanced risk right here. And there's like Shreveport, Little Rock, and then there's like Memphis, and here Nashville and Dallas are all under this. And then if we go to the tornado threat, you have a 5% risk for tornadoes shaded in here, and then another 5% tornadoes in here in Nashville, Paducah, Little Rock, and Shreveport here. All has risk for tornadoes, and then the wind damage threat will be probably the main threats here, as there's a 30% risk for wind damage, and anywhere in the 15% 30 needs to be extremely weather aware for this. And then the hail threat, it's a smaller, is only a 15% here, so a lower hail threat, but it's still there and it's massive. So you guys have to be very weather aware here. Then the day 3 outlook stretches further to the east here. It goes from over here to over here and then over to here, kind of like that. And then a massive slight risk of severe weather here in areas like Atlanta, Birmingham, Montgomery, with, you can see the probabilities being a 15% chance of severe weather in these areas in Atlanta, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, Chattanooga, Huntsville, Meridian, Hattiesburg, Mobile, New Orleans, and Baton Rouge is all under the gun for another risk of severe weather here. And then if we go to the day 4 outlook, is a massive, well, not that massive, it's not massive, but a slight risk of severe weather here on day 4. And all these different areas, so you guys need to be very weather aware in there. And it'll probably be extended in late bigger in later outlooks. And then another slight risk on day 5 here in areas like Kansas City, Omaha, and Des Moines, so pretty populated area, will be under the gun for severe weather on day 5. And then on day 6, it heads even further north in all these areas in St. Paul and in St. Paul here in Minneapolis, and then areas like Sioux City, Sioux Falls, and Des Moines is all under the gun for this severe weather here, and areas like Omaha. So you guys need to be very weather aware here. I don't know. Is this for... I forgot which day. This is for day 6. And all these affected areas that are shown right here. And then that's all the outlooks for there. And now we are going to take a look at the models right now. So now, if we take a look at the models here, I'll go to the HRRR. Let's see if they're working here, because sometimes it's not working. It only goes up to an 8, but that's perfect, because we only need to see 8 hours out for this severe weather right here. But if we go to the dew points here, you can see some big-time dew points heading in these areas, and then a very sharp dry line right here that forms. Mostly, the best dew points will be in this area, but this is a really sharp dry line with all the way into single digits behind it, and then 70s and 60s ahead of this dry line. And this dry line will just be pushing east and colliding with this very moist air right here. So you guys need to be very weather aware on this here. As you can see, this dry line comes all the way up into here and brings a little more moist air over here, all the way up into there. And it's a really slow moving dry line, but it will push through at night. And then now, if we look at the composite reflectivity. So now when we take a look at the composite reflectivity, they're showing multiple, and I mean many, significant supercells to form over here in this moderate risk area. There could be supercell producing a tornado over here. Even more supercells that could produce tornadoes in here. And then even more supercells over here that can also produce tornadoes to the south over here. So you need to be very weather aware on this. And then the HRRR is not seeing much of a line. So if this is true, the damaging wind threat could be a little lowered and the tornado threat could be higher here. With all these thunderstorms that will be heading in, probably producing tornadoes. Like you can see these massive supercellular thunderstorms shaping out here. And this, it's just a ton of these supercells, with mainly these ones I think could be the big time tornado producers and hail producers here. And then I think by 8 p.m. it turns more into a line and provides a damaging wind threat for these areas near Oklahoma City. And the tornado threat kind of starts to end here around 9 p.m. and the damaging wind threat does start to go up. And now if we look at surface-based, so the chance for surface-based CAPE around here, so these convective available potential energy here, you can see all the way up into the 3000s here, and then maybe supercell over here eating this CAPE. So these storms have a ton of energy in here to produce large tornadoes and really become supercellular here. So yeah, you need to be very weather aware for this, as these storms could have all the way in a range from 2,000 to 4,000 in these areas right here in surface-based CAPE. So that's plenty of energy to support damaging tornadoes here. And now, if we go to the significant tornado parameter over here, you can see a lot of significant tornado parameter, which a lot of it over here, and just a ton of it in this area that will form. So a lot of significant tornado parameter over here that could produce these large tornadoes. So yeah, you need to be very weather aware here. And now if we go to the supercell composite, we have a lot, and I mean a lot of energy for supercells to form, and all these areas here could form big time supercells. And man, this is just a ton of energy for supercells to form in here. So yeah, I do think this will be more of a supercellular event here. So that is the models here. We are going to look at the day 2 outlook for models now. You can see if we go to dew points, we'll switch to NAM 3 kilometer since it can't go as far here. You can see a lot of energy forms here on Thursday, which is going to be our day 2 outlook. Actually, yeah, Thursday. And a lot of energy in here, all the way up to Nashville. And so this is just 60s dew points, all in these areas, all the way up to St. Louis, all the way down to Nashville. Memphis gets a ton of energy in the 70s here. And then you can see there's almost a sharp dry line right here. And this is just extreme energy. I think the biggest severe weather could be around this area near the Louisiana and Arkansas border. As this is just, I mean, this is just a lot. And I mean a lot of energy in these areas that you can see over here. And now if we look at the composite reflectivity about what the radar could look like. And remember, this is a robot. This is basically the computer. This isn't a real human. They aren't as smart as us. So this is not going to be 100% accurate. This is not what it's going to fully look like. But this is a way to see what it could be close to looking like here. And you can see there could, this is Wednesday, so we got to get a little further. This is at midnight. Okay. So they're showing here that a big time line comes from here in Dallas and comes all the way up to here, all the way down over here. All in this enhanced and slight risk here. And I do think the tornado threat will really be lowered here, as this is just a line of a QLCS line here. But the damaging wind threat will be really high here, and the hail threat will be lower, as I don't see much of a wish for supercells much. But there could actually be a few supercells to form over up here into the Nashville area, closer here to Memphis. There could be a few supercells form and produce tornadoes. But you can see this big damaging wind line that forms over here. And now if we look at the surface-based cape, you can see some big-time cape forms over here, all the way up to the 2000s in these areas, and then 2000s comes all the way up into here. So a lot of energy for storms to form, and then you can see this big dry line right here. And then actually a ton of cape in these areas, and a lot of cape down here. So there could be some big-time storms eating up these cape. So that will conclude this video here. I hope you guys liked it, and bye, guys.